Hello and welcome to the last in the series of Starting Grid, but believe me, we're going out with a bang.
Coming up in today's show, we catch up with Motor Week presenter Glenda McKay, who shows us what she gets up to at the weekend. We give you advice on modifying your first car. Also, we'll check out what happened on my Motorway Pass Plus lesson. And we'll catch up with Paul Jackson drag racing for the last time. But first, let's bring on the students.
In the last of our visits to the university race team, let's check out the result on race day after weeks of preparation. In the last few weeks, you've seen our team behind the project and met our driver Garen Simpson, who is today stepping into the driver's seat at Alton Park. Previously, it was doubtful whether the team would pass scrutineering. Will they pass today?
Right, we set the ride height at 41mm, but one of the rivets holding the under tray on stuck down slightly more than that, so we were right on the limit. We just scraped through scrutineering. If we'd have failed, if it had been any lower, then we'd have been excluded from the race, but luckily enough it was just okay.
The team are delighted with the position Garen achieved.
And Garrett, who finished in third place, good position for you, Garrett. True.
Yeah, very happy for eighth on the grid. I'd just like to thank everyone over there at the university for sending that.
Yeah, they put the car together, so it's nice to see them all here.
Yeah, did an excellent job. Thanks a lot. Yeah, made a good start. Excellent start. I made 3 places up off the start. The cars in front were just spinning the wheels in front. I just did a nice slow pull away and it worked. So I'm really happy with that.
Which is obviously a good result.
Yeah, really good considering we started 8th on the grid. So yeah, really happy with that.
And that leaves you positive for the season ahead?
Yeah, really positive, yeah.
We started 8th on the grid. Garrett made a really good start. He was up to 5th. We were running there for most of the race, where it was extended by 2 laps because of an incident over the far corner. And so we were running 5th, and then 2 cars took each other out. So we were running, then we were up to 4th, so we lost a position to a Class A car. And then he did something on the last lap, and Garen was running really solid, and so we finished 3rd overall, 2nd in class. It's a really good result.
The result's brilliant. So first race, new team, and 2nd in class is brilliant. People here have been racing these cars for ages now.
And how do you think the team have worked today?
Really well, considering some of the problems we had. It was doubtful whether it was all going to get done, but everyone stuck together and we got the job done.
Hello and welcome to your weekly guide to finding your first set of wheels. In this, the last of the series, we're looking at options and modifications. First of all, though a dealer may reel off a list of great features at you, how many will you actually need? Do you really mind winding down your windows by hand? Course not. Is aircon essential? Not for short journeys. At once you've saved costs on your potential car, and that's before you've got onto the daft cosmetic things. Just because some geek spent a small fortune on body kits and motorised aerials doesn't mean that he'll get his cash back come to resale time. Even if you really like his chromed gear knob and shiny alloys, just bite your lip and don't offer much more than the price would be without. Why? Because these customisations are very personal, and on the market you don't really enhance the value of your car at all. The only way you'll make by customisation is to give the car an astonishingly good makeover, which may even get it into the mags. But then we're really getting into silly money territory again, and this feature was meant to be about your affordable first car. So happy motoring, and make sure that you balance the needs of your head and your heart to get that first set of wheels. Ever wondered what a top TV presenter gets up to at the weekend? Well, we caught up with ex-Emmerdale actress and current Motor Week presenter Glenda McKay, who has a passion for rallying and co-driving. Take a look.
Glenda McKay, and with me is my friend Richard Walsh from Thirlby Motors. Now, why have you dragged me out into this North Yorkshire forest today, Richard?
Well, 3 years of tarmac rallying, Glenda, I thought this is a chance now for us to come and test your co-driving skills on a proper forest stage in North Yorkshire.
How did I get involved in all this rallying lark in the first place?
3 years ago, you ran the course car for me on a rally at, if you remember, in Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
And you did so well on that that I thought, I've got to get her in the co-driver's seat before she gets in the driver's seat.
Yeah, you were just a bit worried that I was going to actually beat you.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always been quite interested in...
But don't tell anybody.
I won't tell anyone.
All right.
I've always been quite interested in racing, driving, and I went and did some rallies for Richard, and we just came in the same team, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So, if there was anyone out there who was interested in starting rallying, where do they start?
By getting a licence.
And how do you get a licence?
You apply at the RAC, it's a yearly licence, and you basically get 3 stamps on it. You have to do 3 events, and then you get national status, and you can go.
And as a driver, how much is the cheapest car going to cost you?
To buy a properly built rally car, the cheapest one will cost you around about £10,000.
And that includes inside...
The roll cage and all the safety features in it, yes, that you need.
So what are we going to do just now then?
I think we're going. This is a stage in Cropton. It's about 2 miles loop, and we're going to try see how we're going on there.
Brilliant, let's do it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Before we set off, I get given a time card and have to get to the start post at a certain time. This is the notes for the section we're about to do. Very scary. I spend most of the time with my head down here reading these notes. This means things like 150 yards to a grid, and then a right 3 means it's a medium to hard right turn. C means crest, and these are the distance in yards. I've got to tell Richard everything because he's relying on me to tell him which way to go. And he's also relying on me not to throw up in the middle of the race. Let's hope that doesn't happen today. Let's get going, Richard. It's 150 before we reach a cattle grid. Enjoyed mad dangerous sports, and I did actually do my racing driver's licence at 19 years old, but you know, I got the chance to do the rallying, and I just thought this is more me, the sort of rugged off-roading kind of slipping the car about. I've loved it and I've never looked back since. I'm actually quite scared of doing the co-driving. So the women take over on the co-driving, but there are women drivers as well. There's Natalie Barrett, Barbara Armstrong. There are drivers up there, you know, doing the do. I actually like to do both, and hopefully, you know, one day I will be able to drive as well as co-drive. Fingers crossed. Oh dear, Richard. What have I done?
You've broken my car and scared me shitless.
I can't have broken the car.
You have? The poor car.
Oh, look, it's bleeding. What is it that's actually broken?
No, it's a drive shaft that's got on it, so it stops now.
So does that mean I'm not allowed to drive again?
I'm looking forward to your co-driver's seat next time.
Please let me drive again.
No, co-driving. It's a lot better.
I was doing really well as well. I suppose that means we've got to walk home, does it?
And it's a long walk home. Come on.
See you later. You still my friend?
Yeah, all right, go on.
Well, that's all for part 1, but coming up in part 2, we take a serious look at young people and drink driving. We see the grand finale from Paul Jackson and his drag racing team, and I hit the motorways. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the second part of Starting Grid. It's now time to take a look at a serious issue in young motoring, drink driving.
During the Christmas and New Year period of 2000, the police carried out 15,064 breath tests, of which 1,081 were positive. The total number of injury collisions, whether or not related to positive breath tests during this period, was 6,173.
It feels absolutely rotten. It feels like you just want to sort of, without saying this awful, you just want to curl up and die.
The way the amount of alcohol affects each person depends on their sex, their age, weight and their metabolism.
To be honest, I just thought it was going to be like a broken leg, because the way he said it, I just presumed that, I don't know, the way the word sounded that she's okay. Alex has been in a car accident, she's died. She's dead. I remember, actually no, I said she's dead, and I don't like using that word because it sounds so sort of final.
The legal limit for drinking and driving is 35 micrograms of alcohol in 100 millilitres of breath, 80 milligrams of alcohol in 100 millilitres of blood, and 107 milligrams of alcohol in 100 millilitres of urine.
10 minutes after having a drink of alcohol, 50% is absorbed into the bloodstream. After an hour, all is absorbed.
This one time it happened and he didn't get home fine, and he killed 2 people, and you can't think, well, maybe just because I have a few drinks, maybe I'll be okay. It's not worth it to destroy 2 lives. I would never have imagined ever losing it. You don't expect it. You're always reading the paper, oh my God, did you hear about that story? The drink driver that killed someone or something like that, and you never think, I always read and I scan through the paper and I never think it would ever happen. You never think it happens to you, ever.
Okay, in your own time. Keep blowing, keep blowing, keep blowing. That'll do. As you can see, the green light's come on, which indicates that it's fine at the moment, but the second green light has come on, which indicates that the machine's actually picked up a sample of alcohol in your breath. The amber light's now come on, which means there's more alcohol in the system, and now the red light's come on, which would indicate that the proportion of alcohol in your breath is above the prescribed limit, as a result of which I'm arresting you for providing a positive breath sample. Do you understand that? Yeah. Right, we'll go down to Warrington, we'll get this sorted out, okay? 16 to 24-year-olds are the heaviest drinking age group of the population. 50% of males and 41% of females in this age group drink above the safe levels.
It's very weird. It's very weird. I would not ever wish this upon anybody, ever.
Although he loses the race, Paul is offered a lifeline due to the winning driver jumping the green light and being disqualified. A place in the final stages provides a glimmer of hope, but could be dashed with the apparent serious damage to the car. Whilst changing gear, it appears the engine's intercooler suffered an explosion, splitting the casing. The team assesses the damage as the tension fills the air. They have been struggling to patch up the dragster all day in an attempt to perform, and have so far kept the vehicle on track. However, this latest problem could prove to be the knockout blow. Paul is at a loss to explain how and why the explosion occurred, and Keith needs answers to understand what he is confronted with. The whole family unites as this mini-drama rolls on. The decision comes down to one of either packing up and giving in, or finding someone to repair the part overnight. Keith seems to be accepting the inevitable, however Paul is desperate to fight on and will take any chance, however slim.
That mystery car going very well. It does look like John West was talking about. I think somebody said last night that you'd sold it, but
I can't believe he's not in. It's never good, mate. You see, on site we could have got it welded. It's aluminium. And we need to go, there's no one on site who can do aluminium welding. So that's why we're trying to get in touch with someone back in Birmingham. See if we can get it welded. So if we can't, it's over for the weekend.
Carlton Wizard that featured so strongly at Sandown a year and a bit ago. It's just been moved by our pretty security guard. Penalty turn for cockpit somewhere.
Is there anyone that does alley welding? Alley welding, you any good? Hey, thick, probably about 2-3 mil. It's the intercooler casing. Okay, I'll have a word with my dad and I'll probably come. I'll let you know either way, but if I'm coming, I'll be on my way in a minute. See you soon, bud. Ta-ra, mate.
There's a chance.
Yeah, there's a chance. There's always a chance. Stop! Carry on.
Later that night, with the crack refusing to seal, Paul accepts defeat. His best efforts going unrewarded. The damage is too great, and for this weekend, it is one race too many.
Hello, love. Hello, love.
Another meeting comes to an end for the Jackson Dragster team. The disappointment of a premature end, reduced mainly by the previous night's serious partying. There are a lot of positives to be gained from the weekend's racing, and for Paul, this is merely the beginning of a long and glorious trail.
Disappointed then at the end of the day? Oh yeah, it's the biggest break of the year. We really wanted to perform, sort of thing. We got Hockenheim in 3 weeks, and we really needed to get the car running. We've got to run in there isn't a VW class there. We've got to run in the 890 class, so it's going to be difficult getting the car dialed in to be running them numbers, sort of thing. We know the car will probably run faster than that, so it's going to be hard to work out how much to slow down. Sort of. It's a brand new car, it's a brand new combination, I'm new to driving it, sort of thing, so it's going to be difficult to get it going, but I'm convinced once we got this, we're going to take the intercooler to John Webster's at Ayers Race Cars, get him to make a new one, and I'm convinced it'll just start running the numbers consistently all day long.
So what's the future hold for you in racing?
We'll go for the championship again next year. We were champions last year. We knew it was going to be difficult this year, but we just wanted to get more used to the car and get it running the numbers, and then we'll go for the championship next year.
So it's the grand final of my Pass Plus course, and it's time to take to the motorways.
Okay, so Ian, we're going to be approaching the on-slip for the motorway in a few moments' time. So it's important once you actually pass the signs for the motorway to tell you where the motorway started, and you really speed up nice and quickly. Try to observe the vehicles travelling on the motorway in good time. So I'd suggest, Ian, if possible, you come off in the left-hand lane. It gives you the most time and room to be able to really speed up and adjust to the conditions. Now, you can have a look over the Armco, and then when you're in a position to, use your offside mirror. Nice early signal if you need one. Can you move on safely? Yeah. Use the full distance of the slip road though to build your speed. Let everybody see you as well. And then move across safely. Well done, Ian. Very good.
Okay, so here we are on the motorway now, Craig. What are we going to cover today?
We're going to be looking obviously at a different kind of driving than driving in the normal urban environments. We're going to be using good anticipation and good observation to keep yourself safe in this obviously high speed driving. It's also important when you're using a motorway for a journey that you plan your routes in advance, and that if it is a very long journey, for instance if you're covering the length of the country, that you're taking regular stops. This is why service stations are provided. If you do start to feel tired, it's very important that you stop at the next service station and have a good strong cup of black coffee. Okay. Now you notice as well on the left hand side of the carriageway Well, we've got hard shoulder. What do you use that for?
Breakdown.
That's right, yeah. It's only to be used in emergencies when you have no other alternative. If you are unfortunate enough to break down, there are telephones provided every mile. There are markers as well on the side of the carriageway to tell you where the nearest telephone is, which direction. And when you pick up the telephone, you'll be immediately patched through to someone who can help you. They'll ask you for the number of the telephone. Any idea why that is?
The location.
Exactly, they can pinpoint you very accurately. And they'll ask you what the problem is and whether you belong to a motoring organisation, so they can come and rescue you. Now, we have a temporary speed limit up ahead there. Can you see on the gantry?
Yes. Yeah.
What's the speed limit?
50.
Good. Now, is that a mandatory speed limit? Do you have to stick to 50, or is it advisory? It is actually an advisory speed limit. Right. Why do you think? What problems do you think there may be in the road ahead?
Congestion.
Yes, there may be congestion due to the roadworks, and this is why they've put up an advisory speed limits. So we're going to be leaving the motorway in a mile. Okay, you notice that the sign, it tells you how far from the exit that you are. And when you get to 300 yards away from your exit, you'll see the first of 3 countdown markers. Okay. And it's important as you approach those markers that you check your mirrors in good time to assess the road around, obviously assessing the road ahead as well.
Well, sadly, we've come to the end of the show and to the end of the series. Over the last 6 weeks, we've introduced you to many different aspects of young motoring, as well as the people involved, including Paul Jackson and his drag racing team, Garen Simpson and the university racing team. We've also brought you some helpful guides on buying your first car and how to get into the competitive and fast-paced world of motoring, as well as a cheeky look at how to get there on the cheap. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and it's been informative as well as fun. And no, I didn't pass my advanced driving techniques course, but there's always next time.